Imagine a time before streaming video, before podcasts, before digital video recorders, before CDs and cassette tapes, even before television. We're going back to those thrilling days of yesteryear, the golden age of radio. That time when the family gathered around the living room radio and listened to all of their favorite programs broadcast over the airwaves. And in that time, live broadcasts were the king. But being live wasn't always easy, especially for a star like Bing Crosby. In fact, Bing Crosby, along with just a little help from the Nazis, changed the technology of radio forever. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests. Back in the days of old radio, there was no good quality way to record a broadcast. The only mechanism they had to record was similar to vinyl records, except it was a really large vinyl disc that was like 16 inches wide. And they posed quite a few problems. The first one, the quality of the audio was not very lifelike. And it was obvious when broadcasting a recording that you were not listening to a live radio show. They were also very large and cumbersome, and if you dropped them, they broke into 100 pieces. It was also not possible to edit out any mistakes that were made. And yet the big radio stations like NBC and CBS, they thought it was abhorrent to have a recorded show. So they demanded that their stars do multiple broadcasts. What do I mean by multiple broadcasts? Well, at 8 o'clock Eastern time, Bing Crosby would do a live broadcast of his radio show that would go out to the East Coast, anyone east of the Mississippi. And then 3 hours later, at 11 p.m., they would do the whole thing over again to be broadcast to the West Coast. This grueling schedule really limited Bing's time with his family because remember, he was also a recording artist and a movie star, so he didn't have much time. So in 1945, Bing got fed up and he left NBC even though he had one of the top-rated shows because he was so frustrated with this limitation. Meanwhile, in Germany, the Germans had developed the magnetophone. That was the first high-fidelity magnetic tape recorder. Magnetic tape recording wasn't really brand new. They had been experimenting with it since about the 1890s. But the magnetophone introduced plastic-based tape that was coated with oxide particles, which was much more versatile and offered much better sound quality. Let's look at a timeline. The first public demonstration of the magnetophone took place at the Berlin Radio Fair in 1935. In 1941, two German engineers, Walter Weber and Hans Joachim von Braunmühl, at the State Broadcasting Corporation, introduced something called high-frequency AC biasing. Now, that sounds really complicated, but basically, it really reduced the background hiss and distortion, and it gave the recordings a fidelity that was indistinguishable from a live performance. Now, the Nazis, they quickly saw the propaganda potential of this. They could pre-record speeches and rebroadcast them at different times all across the Reich and all across Europe, making them sound live in every time zone. And that trick really confused the Allied intelligence. Hitler and other Nazi leaders seemed to be giving live speeches around the clock. After the war ended, the Allied forces found hundreds of these magnetophones and reels of tape, and they brought them back to the United States. Specifically, American Army Signal Corps engineer Jack Mullen. He was one of the key figures who brought two magnetophone machines and about 50 reels of German tape back in 1945-46. In 1946, Mullen started demonstrating these improved magnetophone technologies to engineers, musicians, and word got around the industry very quickly because these demonstrations were jaw-dropping. Well, Bing Crosby, always on the lookout for some innovation, he attended one of these demos. Jack Mullen played a tape in another room of an orchestra, and Bing actually thought that a band was performing in the next room. Then Mullen stopped the machine, the orchestra vanished, and Bing was stunned. The quality was crystal clear with no hisses and pops. In an instant, Bing saw the possibilities: high quality sound, seamless editing without clumsy razor blades and discs, and freedom from live schedules so that he could record anytime it suited him. Well, Bing didn't just want to use the technology, he wanted to make it widely available. So he invested $50,000, which in today's money is $826,000, into a small California company called Ampex. With Bing backing them, Ampex was able to turn their prototype into the Ampex Model 200, the first commercial high-fidelity tape recorder in America. Now, magnetic tape itself was just as important as the machines. So Crosby also invested in and encouraged the 3M Corporation to create a reliable American-made tape because the German supply was limited. Well, this partnership ensured that the hardware and the media could now be produced to scale. Just about 1 year later, on October 1947, Bing Show became the first US radio program to be taped and delayed using magnetic recording. The results were astounding, and audiences couldn't tell it wasn't live. His investment didn't just solve a problem, it ignited a recording revolution. Other performers and networks all wanted to follow. It opened the door for modern audio editing, multi-track recording, which was pioneered by the musician Les Paul, and also today's video tape recording, thanks to Bing and his continued support of Ampex. So Bing Crosby's desire for flexibility, combined with a little wartime technology and some good investments, changed the entertainment industry forever. It led directly to how we enjoy music, podcasts, and television shows today. So next time you enjoy a podcast or replay a television show, remember, Bing Crosby, the crooner who couldn't wait, helped invent the modern world of recorded media. Oh, with just a little help from Adolf Hitler.